Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm really excited to film this video for you today. I've been wanting to film this for about 2 months, I think. It's probably not the best time of the year to put this video up because this palette is marketed as a summer palette and we're heading straight into autumn. But autumn doesn't officially start for another couple of weeks. So I've just made it. And also when I got this palette, I've really wanted to try it out, and I can honestly hand on heart say I've used every single shade in this palette, which is a lot to say because, you know, it's a pretty huge palette. So I think it's going to be easier with this review, you know, not to have the mirror in there just because of the fact that you're not going to be blinded by it. So yeah, if you are interested in a review on the ColourPop Here Comes the Sun palette, then let's get straight into it now. Okay, so this palette I got from the ColourPop website. I don't know if there's a cheaper way, that possibly Beauty Bay, that you can get ColourPop products, but personally I went straight with ColourPop's ColourPop website. If you spend over $50 on their website, then you get free international shipping. It didn't actually take that long, a lot less time than I expected. I think it came to me in about 2 to 3 weeks. Which I was quite surprised about because I expected it to take a bit longer, probably closer to 2 weeks really. It was quite quick. I've just had a little look on the ColourPop website and this palette is still retailing for $40. It does come in a different case though. I don't think I got to choose the design of the palette that I got the shades in, although I do really like this one. But the one it's coming in now is really nice. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up off my phone, but it's kind of like a peachy colour with a gold heart with palm trees on. I think that's a much more suitable casing for this type of palette and this colour story. So I would have loved to have got that, but I'm still happy with this. And it's the contents, the innards, that counts. So judge a book by the cover, they say, but just know that if you order this now, you won't get this palette, you'll get the palm trees one. It's a 24 pan palette and all the pans come individually, so you do get your, dare I say it, Z palette. I know most people don't really like purchasing from that company anymore. You get the magnetic palette anyway, and it's a mixture of shimmers, glitters and mattes, and also amongst the shimmers some are chunkier than others. So some are more like not a satin finish, but some you definitely need glitter glue. We'll get into that anyway. But officially there's only the 2 glitters which are here and here. Now I personally have arranged my palette as it's shown on the website. So I've had a look really closely at the picture and arranged my little pans in where it wasn't, which is, for me, I did it because I found that really appealing. When I saw this on the website, I was like, wow, that's beautiful. Time goes on, I might rearrange it because I've noticed I'm using certain colours for certain things. So I might rearrange that, you know, to give myself little mini colour stories. But for now, I've just left it in the arrangement it was marketed at. So the 2 glitters we've got are indigo. I really hope I don't butcher these names. So, sorry, Indio. I was going to say because indigo wouldn't be. I've managed to not nick any with my nails, so I just hope to goodness that continues with this video. And then Renegade. So those are the 2 glitter shades. One's a bit warmer, one's a bit cooler, but as you can see overall, it's a very warm palette anyway, with it being a summer palette. So if we just start with the darkest shade in the palette, just I might as well, I'm holding it upside down. You've got Feathered, which is a dark brown matte. Then you've got Mr. Sandman, which is a shimmer, and that's kind of like a mauvey nudie colour, but it's got some purple shimmer in it as well. There's probably going to be a much better description of each of the shades on the ColourPop site, but I'm just going to try and really swatch them all for you today. So I hadn't 100% decided if I was going to do live swatches or not, but let's just go for it. So I've got Feathered, Mr. Sandman. Now, for some reason, this one's called 19D2, and it's definitely the driest, sort of chalkiest feeling one in the palette. And then Seize the Day is another matte, and it's like a hot pink. It sees as in the ocean sea, sees the day. So we've got, those are the first 4, and I think I'll just do them in 4 because although they come in rows of 6, you know, I've got 4 fingers, so I'll do it that way. But these are the first 4 shades. Excuse the sun, it's dipping in and out today. That 19 shade I said it was 19D 2 is actually called 143. So I'd remembered in my head that it was, this particular shade was a number, but I just read the wrong number. So that's the number then. And I hope you've noticed I have put an annotation of the way that the ColourPop describe the colour, because they'll describe it much better than me. So I'll continue to do that for the swatches. It's really funny because when I went onto their website to get the description now, I've just realised that all of the shades are in order in the palette but backwards. So when I went to fill it, I've sort of had to look at the pictures and work out which is which because I didn't notice that they had that information on there. So I've just totally wasted my time there. But at least it was fun to play with them. I just feel like swatching these, I think no wonder I get such lovely, easy to do eye makeup looks with it because they're just so buttery, and you hear that word a lot. As I say, the purple matte shade was a bit chalky to the touch, 143, but the rest of the mattes are just so buttery and gorgeous. So for the next 4, I've actually got my favourite matte in the whole palette, and that is Triple O. It's just stunning. It's just like a coral. It's just beautiful. In a lot of ways, I look at that and I feel like it almost epitomises my favourite colour. And it does feel slightly drier than the other mattes, not as dry as the purple, but slightly drier than the other mattes, a bit less creamy, let's say, but it doesn't translate onto the eyes. It just is beautiful. There's no other real word to describe it. It's as blendable and as sort of smooth and buttery on the eyes as the other warmer, lighter mattes, even though it feels a bit drier to the touch. So that one is Triple O. And then next we've got Pinky Promise, which is described as a metallic wine. Then we have Thank You Next, which definitely needs a glitter glue, and I've got it on my eyes today. The camera is not able to pick that up. It's going to look like nothing. I can see in the viewfinder it looks like nothing, but you wouldn't believe how stunning that shade is. I have it all over the lid today. If you like this eye look, at the end, I am definitely going to show you. I've even already recorded the voiceover for it, so I'm going to add that on to show you how I achieve this eye look. It's got a really long description, that one. It's a metallic rosy bronze with a copper duochrome flip. Because it's a duochrome, that's probably why it's picking up. But even now, I'm looking at it on my arm and it's just stunning. I'm looking at the viewfinder, you can't see it, but it's just, that's my, probably, I'll say my favourite, yeah, my favourite shimmer in the palette. So you've got both my favourites there. I haven't got Triple O in my eye look today, and they don't necessarily go together, but those are probably my 2 favourite shades in the palette. And then the 4th shade I'm going to swatch is Meteorite. Is that what Meteorite? Yeah, which is I've got in my eye look today. So I have got this one and this one in my eye look today. And that's another just gorgeous, creamy, blendable matte. Yeah, what can I say about them? You can tell I'm in love with this palette. I hope you don't feel like the review's going to be biased, but you can tell by my voice that I just absolutely love this palette. On to the next 4 shades, which will complete row 2. We have the shade Bratty, which is a matte vivid orange. Lovely in the crease. And then we have Earthshine, which is a little bit on the translucent side, but I think it's just a pale colour, that's why it's just a really pale colour. And then we have the glitter, so the first glitter to show you, so I hope it's not going to get everywhere, which is Indio. Look at that, unbelievable. Now the glitters are obviously, as we all know, not eye safe. Don't use them on your eyes, don't do it. It's up to you whether you do it, but it's recommended not to do it. And then we have Chauffeur. And Chauffeur's not, again, it's not really, its beauty is not really picking up. Maybe, I think it's because it's next to the glitter. It's being overshadowed by its glittery cousin. So next to the glitter, it just looks like a dud. but it's absolutely not. On its own, it's really stunning, and I really enjoy that particular shade paired with both the Sweet Talk and the Watermelon palette from ColourPop, because they've got lovely mattes in there and it goes really well with that. So those are the next 4 shades. And I will just say about this palette, another benefit of it, God, I'm going to get glitter everywhere now. We're going to have to put up with that for the next swatches. Oh well. I think one of the benefits of this palette is that it just has such a variety of mattes. If, like me, you get a palette, you often think it's gorgeous, but I just wish I had just 1 or 2 more mattes, you're not going to be disappointed. Cut myself off a little bit there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so another reason why I think that chauffeur shade doesn't show up as good on camera is because, again, it's a duochrome. Anytime you see in the annotation that's a duochrome, please understand that in person it's much more stunning. For some reason, although in a lot of ways they're the most stunning shades, they're the ones that least show up as stunning on YouTube. So on to the next 4 shades, which is row number 3. We've got, let's have a look, Crisscross, Take Flight, and then the next glitter, which obviously you would definitely need a glue for, and that one is called Renegade, and then Best Coast Scenario, which is one of the more versatile. I'll just get another go of that one for you. And the yellow. It's one of the more versatile shades in the palette, and I think a lot of people will enjoy to use that as a transition shade. I do use, that's probably my most used shade in the palette there. And again, the glitter's not really being done justice. Got gathered around the top there. So that's those 4. If it looks like completely different lighting right now, it's because I ran out of time to film and now it's the end of the day, but I am going to finish this because it's going well, if you ask me. So we've got the next 4 shades, which now will take us down to the very last row in the palette. We've got Come and Get It, Running Late, very close to the colour of my skin tone, so you won't see that matte very well. With the Running Late, I have that in my transition area today. And then we've got Millie. So for Millie, as well as Come and Get It, you just need a standard eyeshadow base. But for this last one, you can probably tell on my finger, really chunky and glittery. It's not one of the glitter formulas, but it's the chunkiest of glittery of all the shimmers. And so you will definitely need a glitter glue with this one. And it's called 20 something, which is stunning. It really is stunning. Other than the one I've got on my eyelid today, I think these 2 as well are favourites in the palette. Just realised I put my watch back on. To take that back off again. So I'm hoping that picks up. That's those 4. And then on to the last 4. So this one's a funny one. It's described as a matte raspberry, but the name of it is Stay Golden. And then we've got Misty, which I think is very similar actually to one of the other colours in the palette that I swatched earlier, so much so that I actually got them mixed up. I think it's Pinky Promise. It's quite similar to that one. And then we've got another matte here. I think this is the last matte, which is a matte Hot Peach, which is another one of the shades that I think could be a great transition. That one, along with the Best Coast Scenario, are the 2 most used shades I've found so far out of this palette for me. And then the last one is Paradiso. Yeah, Paradiso, which I thought I would use more over the summer. I didn't gravitate towards it much, but it is stunning. Really stunning. I suppose it's just confidence of knowing what to put in your crease with a colour like that, because I don't really wear shimmers in the crease. So that's the last 4. Okay, So we're starting with the shade Running Late, and I'm going to fluff that into my transition area with a lovely fluffy Zoeva brush. I'm just using the normal back and forward motions, windshield wiper motions and some circular motions. Just to let you know, with all of the 3 matte colours that I've used in the look, I have done about 3 light layers for each one. So the next matte colour I'm going to use, which will be my crease and also sort of my outer corner area, you'll see anyway, it's the shade Crisscross, which is a really gorgeous sort of, I suppose a brick red, you could call it. For Running Late, you can barely even see the colour in the pan, but on the eyes it's lovely and warm, and it's kind of like my skin tone, but a little bit darker and really warm, a lot warmer, so it just warms up the area. So I'm just putting Crisscross, as you can see, all in the crease and outer corner, and there's not much else to say about that. They're blending really beautifully, both blend into each other really beautifully, but then I've used other mattes in the palette and they all the mattes I've used so far blend beautifully into each other, with maybe the exception of like the purple shade, it's called 143, the shade, but purples and mattes are, you know, really hard to do. I mean, it's lovely, it just doesn't blend as nicely as the others. And then for all over the lid, I've just got Thank You Next, which is this absolutely stunning sort of gold and pink duochrome shade. I would usually put a sticky base, like a glitter glue base underneath it, but on this occasion I didn't, because I just don't need it to last that long. I'm not going to be wearing my makeup for very long today. So I've been wet it with some eye drops and packed it all over the lid, and then just a teensy tiny bit of the shade Feathered, which is the darkest matte in the palette, and just popping that to deepen up my outer V. But I'm not put much in there just purely because I'm gonna be going and picking up the kids later. I'm not doing anything dramatic today, and I don't want to look sort of like crazy and overdone. But a lot of the time as well, I don't even deepen up the outer V, honestly, when using this palette or any other. But for the sake of the YouTube video, I'm using an extra matte, you know, just to be extra. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking a different shimmer shade called Come and Get It, which I think is like it. Again, it's like a pink gold, but it's more finely milled. It's more like a peachy pink rather than a pink gold. Sorry, like a pink and peach. And then on the outer corners there, I'm on the outer half of my lower lash line, I'm using Crisscross again, which is the matte. And then I'm just putting a teeny dot of Feathered in the outer corner as well, but hardly any of that. And then just to blend that out, I'm just using, I think it's Best Coast Scenario, which is another matte. So actually, sorry, yeah, I've used more mattes. So, pros and cons. The packaging is both a pro and a con. You can switch colours out. It's customizable. So if you do buy the full palette, you can choose to put some in. You can just take, 4 and put it in a smaller palette to take travelling. I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable to take this palette as it stands travelling, because I feel as though without mirror and with them only being magnetic and their magnetic closure, it wouldn't be sturdy enough for me, and I just wouldn't want that sort of much variety, I suppose, travelling. But it's a pro and a con, as I say, because you can take smaller palettes and put them in, which is what I would do if I wanted to travel with some of these shades, which I absolutely would consider doing. You have to be careful, not just with the glitters, but surprisingly with a lot of the shimmer shades, like the really more glittery ones, like this one there, even Paradiso. You have to be careful because when you use them, they're so sort of soft that they're spilling over. They smush and they're spilling over potentially into the other pans. And also, although the mattes are beautiful and I love them, they are dusty. So again, you are getting some of the matte in, as you can see, look here, and in the other pans. It doesn't bother me. I'll just take them out and clean them as I see fit and blow on them. And like some of them, like this shade here, are just so creamy it doesn't really happen. So it's the formulas are a mixed bag. I can only say yes, if you're wondering if this palette is worth the money, I would say yes. I'm so sad that it's the end of summer, and my main sadness for that is this palette. But then again, I feel like I could get some autumnal looks out of this as well, so I might go ahead and use it in autumn. But it's just stunning. I've quite a few new palettes this year, and this has been my favourite so far. I'm just so glad I got this palette, because I bought it with an order with the watermelon collection, which I really, really wanted, and I do like that. But I just took this in there. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that's for me. And I would never have thought to buy these singles, or if I saw a palette like this one in the shops in the UK, I wouldn't buy it because I just feel like it was too bright for me. But it's not too bright at all. I've made it so you can make this so wearable. And when I hold it, a friend of mine said, "Oh, I feel like you'd get a lot of the same looks." And I'm wondering if she, now in hindsight, she actually meant the watermelon palette, because it's monochromatic being red. But with this, there's so many different looks. If she meant it about this palette, I couldn't disagree with her more, because honestly, this palette is so versatile. I could get dozens of different looks. I feel like every single time I've done my makeup using this palette, I've been 100% happy. Really, really happy with the look. So yeah, if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them for me. I hope you've enjoyed the review and you found it helpful. Give us a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye.